everything all of a sudden. It's like, oh, these are vertical instead of in a little grid. Like, totally not going to be able to do this now.
Anyone that can use Microsoft Excel is way smarter than
heroes.
Me. Yeah, like
true heroes.
Can't do it. I like try to click something and things go flying everywhere. I don't know how you do Excel. I'd rather just do a grid myself.
I'm a big Google Sheets guy. I like the Google Sheets. It seems easier for me.
Is it better or is it like the same thing?
It's like the same thing.
Oh,
it's just easier for me, and I don't have to worry. Like, I think that Microsoft has changed so much that I'm not sure if I have to save stuff or not.
Yeah.
But I know on Google I don't. Like, on Google, it's good. Like, if I type it, it's there. And if I mess up, I can go back.
Oh, that's true.
If I make a change and I want to see what it was 3 days ago, I can see what it was 3 days ago.
Yeah.
It's way easier for collaboration too.
Interesting. Well, that's how I was doing stocks when I first started. I was trying to use Microsoft.
Oh my God.
And, like, Excel to like break down money and stuff like this. And then like I just at some point I clicked something and everything went wrong. And I put so much time and hours into it.
My money, I lost all my money.
I tried to revert it and I made it worse. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. Yeah. I never touched Excel again. So sorry, Microsoft.
A lot of interesting stuff going on this week.
Yeah.
Bow.
Who's there? It's rare. Who's there? It's rare. Come fill your time. This pod's for all. From the Finger Lakes, join in the call. Learn something new about the Cuca Trail. Upstate New York, every episode a tell. Who's there? It's rare. Who's there? It's rare. It's rare.
You really shouldn't joke a lot about the stuff that went on with Cuomo, but the one dig that I really liked, that I laughed at pretty hard, was that they said that, you know, when he was doing the groping stuff, that he was just trying to flatten curves because that's what he does. Harsh, because he didn't flatten the COVID curve either.
God. I'll just never forget how he became like the sweetheart of America.
Oh yeah, he was a hero all across the country for a certain sector of people.
No, I never thought he was a hero. I thought some of the things he was doing were good ideas at the time, because it was like, yeah, you know, he's trying to do the right thing. And if they weren't good ideas, it felt like he was trying to do the right thing. You know, like let's be at the right side of history, right? And then it just progressively got worse. But I'll never forget like my Facebook feed with these like it was mostly women, some men, but they were like swooning over him.
Oh yeah.
Like thought he was like this like sex symbol. Like I remember I was like, whoa, like he doesn't.
When I was in the city, all the nurses would turn it, like they'd watch the live updates every day.
Yeah.
And they'd just be like entranced. It's like, what is wrong with you?
Is it the power? Is that what it was? Is it just like the way he held himself? Or?
Partly the power, but partly more so, I think, just like he knew that he was lying.
Uh-huh.
But he said it with such confidence that most people never questioned it.
Man. Crazy.
They just listen to the guy talk like that and they're like, oh, well, he sounds like he's telling the truth. He sounds serious. He sounds like he's trying to do the right thing. He sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
Some of the things he did were the right thing.
Absolutely not.
You don't think anything he did was right?
Nope.
Really? I thought he was trying to do right for a while. And then it all went downhill from there. It was bad.
Well, we had this conversation at the beginning that I thought that I often share goals with people, but have a different way that I would go about attaining those goals.
Right.
And yeah, like, do we want less people to die? Do we want less people in hospitals? Of course.
Man.
But it's all about how you do it.
That's true. Yeah. And then you look more into it and you read. Like, I guess I wasn't really up to it at that point, like really paying attention. But did he not accept the aid from Donald Trump when Trump sent the ship and everything? Was that true?
The ship, like, I don't know if they put anybody on it. The Comfort.
Yeah.
I don't think they put anybody on it. They might have. I know that they said that they weren't going to put anybody that actually had COVID on it. But then they figured out that everybody had COVID. Like everybody that was going to the hospital had COVID.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they were talking about using it for some obstetrics or something like that.
Yeah, because I was reading that supposedly he took like anything that the government was trying to give him, he wouldn't use.
Yeah.
Until it came to money. Then he wanted the money.
Yeah, he wants the money because he wants to be in control.
Right, but he didn't want like them to send help. Nothing
that involves them making any part of the decision.
Right.
Because he didn't want Trump to have any of the credit.
Right. And then the reason he hid the deaths was because Trump's organization was going to use it against him.
That's got nothing to do with Trump.
That was their claim. That was the AIDS claim of
of course it was, but because Trump wanted it to be about Trump, and Trump's AIDS wanted it to be about.
Oh, Trump. No, not Trump's AIDS. Cuomo's aid. That's what she said. He was quoted saying
everything had to be about Trump.
Right.
Like we just lived through a time where everything was about Trump, even if it had nothing to do with Trump.
Come on, you missed it a little bit.
The governor let thousands of people die. He put them in situations that caused their death.
Yep.
And it's about Trump? What?
It was. Everything was. That's how they did it.
It's about bad decision making.
Yeah.
Right from the get-go. It was a bad situation.
When was the last time there was bipartisanship? Can you remember?
Bipartisanship?
Yeah. Or like everyone was working as a team. Has it been a long time? Has it ever happened?
I don't think it's ever happened.
Really? Okay.
I think that, so I heard a story the other day about, it was like a story about church. Did I already tell you this one? Yeah. So there was this church and all these elders are arguing and they're like, so somebody new comes into the church. They're like, so do we kneel during the service? And they go, no. And then he goes, okay, so do we sit? The other guy's like, no, we don't sit. And the other guy's, okay, so do we stand? No, you don't stand. It's like, so, like, what's our tradition then? Tradition is that we argue about what our tradition is.
Okay.
And that's what America is, right?
Yeah, it's very close.
Our tradition for 300 years, almost, or 250 years, is that we argue.
A lot.
I mean, but you can't come to the best decision without arguing. You have to have diversity of thought, or else you won't come to the best decision. The problem is that's not how decisions are being made anymore.
Right. Interesting. It's a pretty good take on it. Yeah. Well, we won't stay on Cuomo all day, but it was just pretty interesting seeing him resign. I didn't know if he was going to resign.
The disappointment that I have was that I wanted him not to be governor, but I wanted him to go through a trial.
Yeah.
And the assembly has appeared to have dropped the impeachment. There might still be criminal stuff or other civil issues.
So he can run again.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't impeached.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he can run again.
Gotcha.
I don't know what he'll do. He's got a lot of money, a lot of campaign funds. We'll see what he does. But it's kind of, I just want to see those people that were wronged get a chance to tell their story in court, and not just the women.
Yeah.
I don't think that the families of the people who died because of the nursing home stuff, I don't think that they'll ever get an audience that they deserve.
That part is interesting, that there's been nothing about that.
Yeah.
That's just been swept under the rug, really.
Yeah, it has. And he's been bad since the get-go, as far as I'm concerned. He's done a lot of bad. and I've been saying it for 10 years or more.
Hey, we got
to move on.
something going with Kathy Hochul. She's actually been to the Finger Lakes at least. At least she's been to Penn Yan.
I believe she's been to every county in New York.
She's been to Penn Yan.
I know she's been to Penn Yan several times. She's our first governor from upstate in 100 years.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty good. I believe she actually went to some of the my parents said she came to the 18th, but I think they had
She
her
might have.
maybe confused with someone else, but they thought it was her.
Yeah.
So I can't say for sure. And I believe she was at like the Laurentide.
Yeah, I know she's been there.
So
she's been in town a few times. She's
That's
been to the
pretty
Candy
cool, man.
Emporium when we did the DRI.
yeah.
She came down for the DRI. The weird thing, I was reading an article about who is Kathy Hochul,
Mm-hmm.
and it was interesting because they kept mentioning how Cuomo was conservative
Mm-hmm.
and that he'd helped the Republicans with different things, and that he'd, basically helped the Republicans stop the progressive Democrats from being able to have control in Albany.
Yeah.
And I thought that was bizarre because it doesn't seem to me that was the case.
Yeah.
But those same articles basically said that they didn't think that Hochul would be in the way of those policies.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. Jamie confirmed what you were saying.
DRI. Yep.
Oh,
she was here.
DRI. Yeah.
She was here.
But
So
she's been here more than that, right? Hasn't she come before as well?
she comes here from time to time.
That's what I thought.
For different things. Yeah. She came for the DRI. She came. I don't know what else. She's been here a couple times.
You just got to think that's got to be good for the Finger Lakes upstate.
Sure.
Just like
it's barren. Somebody that's never been here.
Right. I mean, has Cuomo ever been here?
Not once.
I didn't think so.
Not in his life. I don't think he knows where this is.
The most he's done is he got on the highway when there was a high wind thing with trucks and yelling at truckers for driving.
Yeah.
When he shut down the highway.
Get your tin in the wind.
And it's like, thanks, Cuomo. You're really doing something good out there. That's why we have cops. We don't need your ass riding around out there screaming at truck drivers trying to work. It's like, dude, you missed it hard here. Yeah. He
is the leading asshole in this territory.
Just the stuff he did, man. I don't know. It's just, you don't have to. He was a jerk. If you you don't even have to meet him to know he was a jerk. Yeah.
Well, they've been talking about that for over 20 years. That would be the one thing, is that he's just a huge asshole.
Yeah.
In general. So I'll be happy to see him go.
He'll blame that on being Italian.
Of course.
Just like the sexual harassment. I'm Italian. That's what we do. So
I went to Dunkin' Donuts this morning in Springfield, Massachusetts. And you'll never believe this. So I go in and I ask for a large dark roast coffee. Don't have any.
They don't have dark roast.
They didn't say we're out, or they just, it's on the menu. They just said, yeah, we don't have any of that. Said, okay, well, I guess I'll have a regular coffee then, which is, it's weak as piss.
Yeah.
It's not good. And then we get up to the window to pay and give them a 50. And they're like, oh, do you have anything smaller than this? It's like a Dunkin' Donuts in a city can't handle a $50 bill.
Okay, that's pretty strange.
Yeah, it gets weirder, man.
Okay.
So we count out the ones to hit the right number. Mm-hmm. It's like 15.23.
And they couldn't take a 50 with it, because I was thinking it was like $2, right? So maybe
no, it's like $15.
What?
So it's like $15.23.
Okay.
We give them $16.
Mm-hmm.
And she comes back and hands us back a dollar bill. She says, I'm sorry, I can't break this. So you can just keep that.
They don't have 67 cents.
They didn't have 67 cents.
Okay.
They could. Have you ever been to any business that didn't have change for a one?
I mean,
for a one?
Not really. I know at my distiller, I actually don't do change. I always just round up,
You just round
down
Round
to the
down.
dollar.
Well,
So
that's
they don't
what-
deal with change. But
so they
yeah.
rounded down.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're in that business. Maybe they don't want to deal with change either. So I don't know. So
Blows my mind.
yeah, that's crazy. No, but the worst part is you can't give $35 back in change.
Right.
It's a 20 and a 10.
No $35.
You know, put a 5 in there. You get 35.
No 67 cents.
It's not like you're handing out a bunch of weird numbers. I mean, I don't know. Maybe 10s are hard to come by. I've learned in business, but
Yeah.
that's it. That's the only dollar bill that's rough to find.
Yep, that's
So,
true. That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. Interesting.
It's just bizarre, man. So then last night we ordered pizza from Domino's,
Okay.
which I will henceforth call Extortionos, because we got 2 medium pizzas.
Okay.
One of them with 3 toppings, one of them with 2 toppings. Between the pizzas, the delivery fee, the tax, $45
Okay.
for 2 pizzas this big.
Tiny pizzas. Yeah.
Unreal.
I mean, I've never shocked anymore.
Never had a pizza that expensive in my life. I felt like
Did it taste good?
I was like some kind of celebrity or something, you know, like
So- $20 a medium pizza, pretty much.
yeah,
Yeah, and then a $5 delivery. You could say.
insane.
Yeah. Especially for you said medium. I mean,
Yeah,
that's not a very big
they're
pizza.
they're not big pizzas. I ate the whole thing.
Yeah, because your large pizza at a pizzeria around here is about $30.
The large
They're pretty
pizza is the
big.
best deal by far.
Yeah,
Always get the large pizza. It seems like that extra 2 inches. You know what I'm saying? Like, it seems like that extra 2 inches of diameter.
uh-huh.
Isn't
Are you
that?
testing me today?
It's like, oh, an extra $6. What, I don't know, whatever it is.
Yeah,
But it's all the way. It's worth a lot more. You know, you got to do the pi r squared thing
right. Gotcha. Yeah,
to calculate what's the best.
I
deal.
didn't do good in calculus.
The large pizza is almost
so-
always the best deal.
Calculus is the only class I got a C on in my life. So, just letting you know.
I don't think it's even. I mean, it's
Isn't that calculus? That's part
geometry.
of it. Yeah,
Geometry, I think.
Is it? I was okay at geometry. Maybe it should be
Yeah,
better.
shapes.
See, I don't even know the difference. Maybe I wasn't good. I don't know.
Yeah, calculus would be a lot more. You'd calculate like
Sorry, Dundee.
the volume of a cylinder or something like that. I could calculate the volume of a pizza.
You ever wonder if like our high school teachers watch us and they're like, man, like I either did a really good job. Or they're like, oh, this is embarrassing. You know, it's like one or the other. You got to guess what they're thinking.
do.
They're like,
By the way,
like,
hi, Mrs. Carpenter.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, sometimes they do.
Yeah, not good.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
Jamie, we knew what Phil was doing here. We knew. So, that sounds horrible. The Domino's, I'm not shocked about. Here's the thing. I don't want to call out local pizza places because they're ran by local individuals, but you get a large pizza around here from a couple, and your eyeballs will drop out of your head how much it costs.
Oh
Like,
yeah, yeah.
I'm just like,
But they're like a large pizza
Jesus.
is a lot more pizza.
yeah, well, and I understand,
It's a
but
lot more.
but
pizza.
there's a price. You know, there's like a
Yeah.
price that you're always like, oh, that, you know, that's fine. And then there's a price that's like, that doesn't make sense. You know, it's like, okay.
$47.
It's like I ordered a large pizza from here with 3 toppings at one of the places, and it came out to like $32.80 for it. And I was like, whoa. Okay. I mean, what do you like? I'm not going to say no. I'll just pay it. And I'm just like, I won't be doing that again. You know,
Yeah.
it's just like, so I'm never sure. But Domino's being a franchise, you'd think their prices would be a little.
Well, they were supposed to
Could
have
back it down.
the 2 medium pizzas with 2 toppings. I don't know if the 1 extra topping threw everything off or what, but
Yeah.
disappointed in Extortionos.
Extortionos. I like it. Oh, God. Hey, so I hate to bring it back to Cuomo again, but did you see the video that they made for him of before he resigned and they were going to impeach him and everything?
Of him like touching all these people.
Touching and kissing everyone.
Fucking gross, man.
Did you see it?
It was gross, yeah.
They thought it was like going to help him.
Right.
And it's
Oh, the one that he showed. Yeah, 'cause I saw a different one.
No. The one
that was
he
like
showed.
Yeah, the one that he's
just like
insane.
kissing. I kissed men.
It's like,
I
here's
kiss children. I kiss women. This is just who I am. And
this
he's
is
just
like Exhibit A in the civil trial.
he's the one that his government has done the sexual
See,
harassment
look at all the people that I
courses.
touched.
All the sexual harassment courses you've ever done to be in a job was passed through him.
Right.
And he's breaking it and shows a video of him breaking every single thing you learn in the sexual harassment course. Like, as a person, not even a man, especially as a business owner, I do my best to not even put my staff or myself in a situation like that.
You have to.
I would never.
Yeah.
I would never. If they engage in a hug, I'll engage in a hug. Be like, oh, hi, nice to see you. Simple, quick. You don't want to. I mean, come on. Let's be serious. You try to. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a power thing where they think they can get away with things like that. I don't know what it is.
It's just
why A, it's not right, and B, what you always got to think about the other person. That's what I always try to do is I don't want to put someone in an uncomfortable situation. Like that, no one wants to be uncomfortable, especially at work where they have to be there to live. So, I mean, pretty scary stuff, man.
And I agree with that entirely. The one thing to swing the pendulum back the other way a little bit is that there is something to be said for human touch, shaking hands, a hug now and then. Like, that has a big impact on people's mental health, on their satisfaction. Even there was a study about medical care satisfaction. And people that when they went to the doctor, if at some point during the visit their doctor actually touched them, they were more satisfied, whether it was necessary or not.
Okay.
That if their doctor never laid their hands on, they were less satisfied.
Interesting. But but
you can't be creepy, man.
In your position, the kind of people you work with, where you are.
Yeah. I have a very hands-on job.
But I'm sure you don't engage. You're not the first one to engage in a hug or to engage in things like that. Right. I mean, it's just one of those things you're not going to say no. You're not going to I mean, maybe you do. I'm not going to speak for you.
There's not a lot of occasion.
I'm not going to say no. I mean, I'll be like, sure, we can hug, but
there's not a lot of occasion for hugs in my job.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
You never know. I don't know.
I mean, if you made my knee better, so
you graduated. All right.
Could play sports again, I may give you a big hug. So, it's kind of one of those things.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyways, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying in general. What happened to being able to read people and read situations? You should know when something's okay and when it's not. And if somebody's uncomfortable, it's really easy to tell in a hurry.
A difficulty of...
We watch the same thing in the Biden videos. When he's,
oh my God.
When he's touching those kids' hair and
those
they're
are
pulling
horrible.
away and he's putting his hands around them and they keep pulling away and he's pulling them in and I'm like, that it makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, those are really bad.
I can't see this stuff.
The stuff that's in those videos is worse than the stuff in the Cuomo video.
Oh, way worse.
A lot.
Mary brought it up again the other day on her phone and she's like, have you seen this video? I'm like, yeah, I'm not watching it. I kept looking and every time I looked over, my stomach, it just made me sick to my stomach. It was bad, dude.
It definitely crosses the creep line.
Wow. And he's still better than the yelly orange man. I mean, I don't know. It's anyways, we can get off this stuff, but it's just it's too bad that people have to go through that.
So I'm in Springfield, Massachusetts for the rodeo, for the PBR.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy comes in and start talking to him, and he sees that I went up with Jeff. We had our Cuca sports medicine team for the PBR this weekend, which was kind of cool to do that together. And he looks over at his backpack and he says, hey, where's Cuca College? And I said, oh, it's kind of over near, it's 4 hours west here. It's somewhere over near Rochester. He goes, oh, I'm from Hammondsport.
What? And he doesn't know where Cuca College is?
Well, I don't know if he didn't know or if he was just trying to figure out if it was the same one or what.
Gotcha.
But he goes, actually, I grew up in Prattsburg. Kept getting closer, you know. And so the guy grew up, like they had their own little arena over in Prattsburg, and they'd get bulls to ride over there.
Really?
And yeah, he's like 32 years old. He's been riding bulls.
Oh, he was a rider. So
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he rides the bulls.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Carlos Garcia, bull rider.
Okay.
He's like 32, so he's been around a while. I probably played against him in some kind of sport in high school.
Carlos Garcia.
He's about maybe I was probably a little bit too old.
Wow.
He would have been 4 years behind me.
Riding bulls in Prattsburg, man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, and then I asked him about. Sorry, everybody. If you're sensitive, plug your ears. I said, yeah, you probably, grew up riding sheep. It's all the sheep over in Prattsburg. He goes, oh, you heard about that story too? And I said, no, man.
No, not like that.
No, like the little kids, they learn how to ride by riding on sheep first.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, he doesn't even work there at the school anymore. It's like, all right, dude.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, he was a pretty cool guy.
That's very funny.
We got our picture with him. I'll show you.
That's cool, man.
But yeah, a lot of cool guys there. It's such a interesting group of people that do that, and a lot of Brazilian people. I got to try out my Spanish a little bit and see how much it overlapped with Brazilian Portuguese. Yeah. Enough to get started, not enough to finish the conversation.
Being around those guys, do they seem like, is there fear? You can't tell when you watch them on TV. Like, are they afraid? Like, you got to be nervous.
Not really. No.
They're just like, they're ready to go. Like, no hesitation. Like, they're going to jump on this crazy ass bull and just ride it.
None of them seem worried about it.
Wow.
I mean, they're professionals. Crazy. They're professional riders. So
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, none of them really seemed worried about it, other than, there's a good portion of them. When you want to talk about toughness, it's like watching a guy that comes in pretty sore and then goes and gets on a bull, and then comes in a lot more sore, and then goes and gets on a bull again.
Man.
And it was one of those events where it wasn't full because it's like the second tier. So some of the guys were riding, they'd take 2 slots. So they'd ride, more than twice.
Yeah.
And some were pretty banged up.
I can't even imagine the G forces, like when they're just getting slammed. Yeah. And you're trying to hold on.
Well, you're trying to hold on, and they're trying to flip you up. So like you go up and then they, snap back down. That can really
I would think a lot of guys got to tear this, because I used to do it all the time when I was lifting. Like, dude, whatever this muscle is here, when you're like trying to curl or anything like that, like I would always do something to this, and I don't know what the hell that is. Well, your bicep too, I'm sure.
Yeah. We had a couple that just had like a big divot here from a ruptured bicep.
Wow.
A bunch of guys that had braces and stuff. I did some taping, try to keep guys together.
Damn.
And then that when they're getting on the bull and those chutes, there's just enough room. It's really interesting to watch the choreography of the event, because it's a show. They light the dirt on fire, and for the show, they like take kerosene or something out and they light it all on fire, and it spells out PBR.
Whoa.
It's cool.
Okay.
And they've got these bulls. They're nice bulls. Like, everybody thinks bulls are angry. Dude, they're just chilling in these pens, just like hanging out. You pat them on the head. They're fine.
Yeah, but you know how they piss them off.
Well, you sit on them and you wrap a strap around their waist.
They like poke and prod them too, don't they?
Not
to get
at
them
all.
a little, a little angry. Like, try nothing at all like that. So just sitting.
So there's no anger involved. I mean, they're fine animals. They think they get a little bit like, they don't like to be surrounded by people.
Right.
Out in the ring sometimes.
I thought like
I had this one that it'd like run around, and they were trying to get it kind of corralled and run around, and it'd stop and look at me for a couple minutes, and then run around the thing again and come stop and look at me again. I was like, all right, man, we're good. We're good.
Nail you,
but,
dude.
so what they do, there's no like prodding or anything
No,
like
I
that.
didn't think like. I just thought like a lot was like harassing it when it's like in the thing, like people being loud and around it and like poking at
so
it,
they
you
get
know,
him. They
trying
get
to
him in this
piss it off.
pen, and it's got a leather strap around its waist,
Uh-huh.
and so the reason that they kind of like kick up a lot is they're trying to kick that off.
Really?
Like they're trying to get it, and they jump up and whatever because there's somebody sitting on them. They don't want somebody sitting on them, and they got a thing wrapped around here too that the guy's holding on to, and then they've got spurs that they do get the bull, a little bit more animated, but the spurs they don't like poke them or anything. They're all squared off, so they don't really hurt the bull. It just kind of like jabs them a little bit, so they kind of move around a little bit more. It's not. Those are very. PETA gets all up in arms and things like that, but those bulls, $250,000, they get treated really well.
Really well.
Really well.
I've seen the things that they do with like these bulls. Like some of them get like massages and shit.
Oh yeah.
I was like, who's massaging a PBR bull? I'm not getting in there with them. Like
they're nice bulls.
Yeah, that's fine.
They're nice.
I've heard that.
So they've got them in these big square pens, like all lined up behind the chutes, and they've got it like choreographed just so they have them all lined up in order.
Yeah.
And they go from these pens into this like long chute, and then they come around into the chutes and they line them up in there so they fill in crosswise. So all along the baseline, there are like 6 bulls all lined up in there. It's pretty cool.
See, my dad grew up a dairy farmer. They had bulls and cows, and see, my dad's always told me the bulls were always just a little extra angry.
Yeah.
And he said he always thought with the PBR, like, why don't they have female cows around? Because he's like, a couple bulls around a female, I couldn't even have them together. Like, they are nasty.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, that would probably work. And I was like, yeah, but would they try to like kill people? He's like, yeah, well, you come for a show or not? And I'm like, Jesus, Dad, like not like that. But yeah, no, he would tell me stories about like if the bull was in the field, like you didn't want to be in there without a gun or without a way out.
Yeah.
Like you did not just want to walk in there because you just didn't know.
Well, sure.
There's some days you could go up and pat him. There's other days.
Yeah, you got to be able to get out.
Good luck.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess, I don't know. I always thought they were. And then have you seen the testosterone? They check testosterone of animals all the time.
Right.
They're up there.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Big
extremely
time.
aggressive. Yeah.
So this guy gets thrown off at the end of the night. He gets thrown off, and the bull gets him with his horn and fucking flings him.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. Well, for me too, because I'm like, I hope the guy's okay.
Yeah.
And the guy comes off. He's fine, sort of. Like he's
sort of.
He's obviously in pain. He's been
launched feet in the air by a bull.
Yeah. So
okay.
he's obviously sore. He comes out. He goes, it almost went in. And I'm like, he goes, if I didn't move, it would have gone in. I'm like, gone in where? Where'd he get you? He goes, in my butthole.
Oh my God. Are these guys all like really country? Are they all like what you'd think, like your prototypical like cowboy hat country guys? Like,
yeah, I mean they all wear cowboy hats, and they get most of them. They work hard. They all have jobs mostly.
Right.
A couple of them don't, but most of them all have jobs. They all have they all wear beat up jeans and boots, and
nice.
That's what they do. About half of them usually are from Brazil.
That's crazy to think about.
Yeah, it's big in Brazil. So about half of them come up from Brazil, and they don't. Almost none of them speak any English. We got a lot of help this weekend from the photographer, who's like, he's huge. He's like 6'6", and he speaks. He's I think from Brazil, but he speaks good English. So he'd come in and help interpret for us. Pretty interesting stuff, though.
Yeah, and Brazil, do they speak regular Spanish?
No, it's Portuguese.
It's Portuguese, you said.
But it's like a different, a little different dialect. It's like the difference between English in America and English in England, right?
Okay, so it's pretty
It's
similar.
not going to be the same, but you can understand it pretty well.
Gotcha.
But no, they don't speak Spanish at all.
Interesting.
Some of
Okay.
them do, just
So it's
because.
Portuguese.
Yeah, but they speak Portuguese as their primary language.
Interesting. Huh. Hey, talking about PETA. Did you see that thing with Buttermilk Falls?
No, what happened? I saw something about that they want to change the name. Is that
Yeah, that is 100% true.
because
PETA
they're
wrote a
worried
letter.
about?
What happens to the animals to make buttermilk? And they write a big, long thing to the.
Do they have to shake the animal first?
I don't know. I don't know. Churn the cow.
What the-
I don't know. So, and they wanted to turn it into, what is it, like grain milk? Falls
for fuck's
or
sake.
something like that. Like, I don't know.
Almond milk. Almond milk.
You'd have to Google it to be sure. But
I can't.
it's funny, worth a read to think like, who is writing this? Like, who's sitting at a desk, right? You live a normal life, hopefully. Like, you have a spouse, you have children, your dog's annoying the hell out of you. Who has the time to wake up and go to work and say, Buttermilk Falls is offensive to people that don't like milk? And it's like, and you're going to sign doctor or whatever, master degree, this. And you're just like, what in the hell? Like, that doesn't make any sense. It's just a name. It's just Buttermilk Falls. That's it. I don't know why it's called that, but there's got to be a reason.
Doesn't it kind of look milky?
Sure.
I don't know.
I've never been.
Pictures
But,
look milky.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting read if anyone wants to get a good chuckle out of something of people being outrageous for no reason. So
Buttermilk Falls. Let's see it. Images.
yeah, look at it. It's like nice buttermilk.
All right. Okay. Hey, did I tell you about this wine cage thing?
No, what's that? Wine cage.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm in. We had it like pretty much all morning yesterday to kill, waiting to go to the rodeo, and so we were gonna go find a like an antique shop, something like that. And we
Mhm.
found this big giant flea market
Okay.
in Springfield, which is it's not a nice city. It's not.
Okay.
It's and
But is that where the guns made? Like all the Springfield firearms?
I don't know. I think there's Smith and Wesson factory. I'm not sure about Springfield.
Okay.
I think probably.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know if Springfield's still based there or not.
Gotcha.
Anyway, it's not a nice city. It's filthy. It's whatever. Anyway, so we go to this flea market and a lot of junk, but there's some model cars. So
Mhm.
my boss is a big Indy 500 guy. He found some pace cars that were pretty cool that he's never seen before. So that was neat. And then I'm walking around looking for a lamp or whatever else. And I see this thing. I walk past it. I don't think anything of it. I come back by again, and it's a vintage French wine cage.
Okay.
And
Do you have a picture?
yeah, but I'm just going to show you.
Oh, you do have a picture.
Like, this is
Whoa.
what it looks like, except for it's, obviously the one that I bought it.
There's no wine in it.
It doesn't have the wine.
That's a shame.
And it's a little,
That's a lot of wine.
little weathered. Yeah, I think so. When I bought it, I thought it was a 100 bottle wine rack.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it goes 2 bottles deep. See?
Yeah.
So I think it's a 200 bottle wine rack.
Wow.
It's about 4 foot by 4 foot, little under 4 by 4.
To fill the thing's gonna cost $10,000.
It bolts to the wall,
Uh-huh.
and you can put a padlock on it. It's like literally a locking wine cage,
Yeah.
so you can keep your nice wine in there.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool. So you bought it.
not for me.
Okay.
I sent a picture of it over to Chet and Rose
Uh-huh.
for the Burnt Rose Wine Bar. They said they've got a place for it. I don't know what they're gonna
Sweet.
do with it,
What color is it?
but it's that color.
Oh, so it's like that. Really, it looks just like that.
It looks like that, except it's a little bit more, a little bit rougher.
Okay.
But I think it'll clean up real nice.
Yeah, it's just having enough wine to fill that sucker.
Well, yeah, I think they'll have enough wine over at the wine bar.
Yeah, it's a lot of freaking wine, dude.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll have it filled right away all the time, but
Sweet.
it's kind of cool.
It's really cool. I've never seen one.
They made them back in the, as far as I can tell, the ones that like this, like what I got, were made in the 1930s in France.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
yeah, so it's almost 100 years old. Looks in pretty good shape, other than a little bit of rust that needs to be cleaned up. Enamel's pretty good, and I think got a pretty good deal, because they're, you'll go on eBay and they're all listed for, the lowest one that I saw was like $1,300, and
Whoa.
I got it. It was already listed below that, and I got them down pretty good. Got almost half off the asking price. So
We could make those, I bet. Do you got any metal fabrication skills at all?
no, but I do have a welder and a grinder. So why don't we just do it?
We could probably do it. It's rare.
It's Rare Wine Cages.
Yep.
All right. Well, I guess you got to go, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Unfortunately, I don't want to go though. It'd be there's so much to talk about. So many more things to talk
We'll
about.
save it for next week. Everybody,
Next week's gonna be interesting.
make sure that you listen
So-
next week.
Yes, it's gonna be crazy.
Have a great day.